Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, please let me know. Please, if you can hear me, let me know, okay? If you can hear me, please let me know. Good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, please type yes in the comment section, please, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please type yes in the comment section. If you can hear me, please type yes in the comment section, okay? Okay, Mr. Ahmed. Okay, thank you very much. I will start right away. I don't need to wait for anybody, any other person. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed, for coming early. Okay, so today, we actually yesterday we gave an assignment. Okay, I don't think, did you submit your own, Mr. Ahmed? Did you submit your assignment? Mr. Ahmed, are you still with me? Okay, all right. Okay, so I would need to continue with this. Okay, I will just need to continue. Okay, and yes, in our last class we gave an assignment to actually print out on the console that I am a hello world, I am a software developer. Okay, good evening, Divine, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so we gave the assignment yesterday to print out hello world, I am a software developer, and you should also create a single line comment and a multi-line comment using both single line, multiple single line comments, and using the other type of multi-line comments. So I'm just going to go through that real fast, and I will come back to the main thing we have here. Okay. Okay. So okay. So I believe you can see my. Okay, I believe you can see my screen. I believe you can see my screen. Okay, so I'm going to go real fast. Okay, and I'm going to take these guys off here. And in this my day 2, I'm going to create a main.dat file, main.dat file, and I'm going to run void main as a function, and I would print, for those who didn't do the assignment, I'm just doing the assignment now, hello world, I'm a software developer. Okay, so this is the first assignment. So if I click run, oh sorry, I have to take this guy out here. Okay, so this is the one I want to run, and okay, I don't want to cause confusion here. Okay, let me just do this thing over here. Let me just do it over here. I copy this, I come here, and I'll paste it here. Let me do it over here. Okay, so I will run, and I would get it outputted here, but I don't like where this console is. I don't like, see, I want it to be side by side, and no, that's not what I want. Okay, I've not been using this application often, so I need to. Okay, anyways, this is my console, okay, and this is my main app. Okay, I don't know how to bring it back, alright, but let me see what I have here. Main dot move tab. Okay, I have it back. Okay, all right, so now this is the first assignment. Then the second assignment is that you should create a single line comment. You start with double forward slashes, and here this is a single line comment. It's just a recap of what we did yesterday. Okay, so I believe you guys are with me. Okay. Okay, so this is a single line comment. Then for the second type, we said we should create a multi-line comment using, with multi-line comment, you can create a multi-line comment two different ways. The first way is that you can span this single line comment multiple times, just like this. Okay, all right. And the second way is that you can start with /* then you end with */, and anything you put in between here is going to be a multi-line comment. So this is our assignment, and when I run, we still get this back. Okay, all right, so that is it. So please, if you're following me, I would want you to type yes in the comment section. If you're following me, I would want you to type yes in the comment section. If you're following me, I would want you to type yes in the comment section. Okay, so Mr. Ahmed, just you and I. All right, it's okay. I would continue with the class. Okay. So Mr. Ahmed, you're with me, right? All right. So now, the next thing I would want us to talk about is we have actually printed out to the console. That is what we mean by printing out to the console by using that print method. Don't worry, we'll talk about methods later. We are going to explain what we have in there: void, main, parentheses, open and close curly braces, and what is inside. So we are going to talk about methods later on in the course. Okay. So let's talk about statements and expressions. Okay, statements and expressions. Now look at it. Okay, we have simple and complex statements, and it is a statement is a simple statement is just a command or something you tell the computer to do for you. Now in our previous code where we have printed hello world, I am a software developer, we have written a simple statement. It's a simple statement, a simple command telling the computer to do that thing for us. So we ask the computer, I want you to print hello world, I am a software developer, and the computer printed it out for us on the console. So a simple statement is a command. Okay, a simple statement is a command that you tell the computer to do something. So is a very simple statement in a single line. Okay, that's a simple statement. Okay, all right. Now when you also look at in that, all simple statements end with a semicolon. And if you watch the program we have written so far, when we said print, we now put parentheses and put double quotes and put in hello world. We ended it with a semicolon. So if you don't end it with a semicolon, that will throw an error. Now you know the way we have full stop. When you're writing English language, whenever you put full stop, it means the end of the statement or the sentence. That's the same thing here with that, or even most of the programming languages, you use semicolon to denote that okay, this is the end of this statement, this is the end of this command. The next line, okay, or anything that follows the semicolon is a new statement. Okay, so in that, all simple statements end with a semicolon. Now, as you have already seen, okay, when we printed something like this, we printed hello world. Okay, it's actually different from what I have here, but it's also the same thing. You say print. Now, this whole statement now is a simple statement, and it ended with a semicolon. We are going to talk more about methods, and we're also going to talk more about this print method later on in the course. Okay, so but everything you're going to be writing as a programmer is a command, is a simple statement, and is a command. You're telling the computer to do something for you. Okay, now we also have complex statements. Okay, we said that simple statements right, is just a single line of code, it's just a single line of command, it ends with a semicolon. But we also have complex statements. Imagine that you want me to do something for you. You want me to go to the market and buy you want me to go to the shopping mall and you want me to buy bread for you. All right, you just tell me, you just give me that command, you just give me that instruction. Hello person, go and buy bread for me. That's a single statement, that's a single command, and I will just go and buy the bread and come back. It's still possible when I come back, you now tell me again, all right, go and buy fish for me. I will go and I will come back. You tell me again, go and buy this for me. I will go and will come back. These are simple statements on a single line, each of them on single line. But imagine that you would want to tell me, okay, person, I want you to go to the market for me, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. Okay? You would the same way you told me to go and buy bread, I came back. You asked me to go and buy fish, I came back. You asked me to go and buy this, I came back. You would have just told me buy those things at the same time, and I would just go and buy those things and come back at the same time. So this is an analogy of the complex statements. Instead of giving the computer statement one after the other, you can just group your commands, your statements. So a complex statement is a group of commands telling the computer to execute those commands step by step. So when you now tell me, instead of you telling me to go to the supermarket and buy bread, I will come back, and you send me again to go and buy fish, I will buy and I will come back, you would have just told me to buy those things at the same time. So you group the commands. Okay, that is a complex statement in computer programming. Okay, now you group the commands, then the computer will execute it one after the other. Just like when I now go to the mall, I will buy bread, I will buy fish, I will buy this, I will buy this, and I will come back. Okay, so that is how complex statements are in computer programming. So in that, all complex statements are enclosed in curly braces, and it doesn't end with a semicolon. You need to pay attention to this. All complex statements are enclosed in curly braces and doesn't end with a semicolon. All right, but single statements will always end in semicolon, but they are not enclosed in curly braces. Okay, so an example is something like this. Okay, now in our first main method, we just had one print statement, but we can do plenty print statements at the same time. Okay, and this is an example of a complex statement. Okay, this is an example of a complex statement. So, but before we go into expressions, I would want us to take a look at let's take a look at an example here. Okay, now I would come back here. I believe you can. Okay, I will come back here, and I believe you can see my screen. So please, if you're with me, okay, if you're with me, please type yes in the comment section. Let me be sure that you're still with me. If you're with me, just type yes in the comment section. Okay, if you're still with me, type yes in the comment section. Okay, so now let's take a look at a simple example here. All right, let me remove this comment, okay, so that this will be more simpler. Now this is a simple statement. A simple statement ended with a semicolon. So this is a simple statement. It ended with a semicolon. But a complex statement, everything inside between these two curly braces. Remember, a complex statement will start with curly braces. It will start with opening curly brace, and it will end with closing curly brace. Okay, so this is a block of code. That is a complex statement. But individually, you can have statements inside here. Okay, so this is a complex statement. The whole block of this main method is a complex method. I can also create something like this, although we're going to talk about it very soon. I can just say int age is equal to 98. This is a statement. Okay, I can also say string name is equal to person. Okay, and I can also say var title is equal to Mr. Don't worry, we'll be talking about more of this when we start talking about variables. You're going to understand this code that I'm writing right now. But the thing is this: all these things you're seeing here, this is a block of code. This is a complex statement. But if I take any of these guys out here, if I take this one out here, this is a single statement. Okay, if I take it outside the block, this block of code, outside this open and closing braces, it is a single statement. Okay, I can say this is a simple statement. All right, and this method is a complex It's a complex statement. Okay. All right. Okay. So I hope you guys are with me. No, Ahmed, it's not an object. Okay. It's not. It's like you come from JavaScript. You have JavaScript background. No, it's not an object. You know, in JavaScript, you use the open and closing curly braces to create an object. No, it's not. It's the, you know, the if block. The thing like the if block, the for each block that starts. They all start with an opening and closing brace. Okay, and everything inside of it is treated as a unit of command. So that's a complex. That's a complex statement. Okay. All right. So far, Ahmed, do you have any question for me? Do you have any question? Mr. Ahmed, do you have any question? Please, if you don't, okay, not, all right, all right. Okay, so now let's continue with expressions. Okay, let's continue with expressions. Okay, now, unlike a statement, right, an expression doesn't do something. It is something by itself. You know, a statement does something. A statement is the command you're giving the computer to do something, but an expression doesn't do something. It is something by itself. Okay, that is, an expression is a value, or is something that can be calculated as a value. You need to understand this, because these small things, okay, can really make a very big difference when you're writing your programs. Okay, now these are examples of expression. Expression is something that can be evaluated that can be calculated as a value. When you look at the value 42, it can be evaluated as a value as 42. When you look at 3 plus 2, 3 plus 2 is the same thing as 5. Okay, so it evaluates to a value. Hello, that apprentice reader is also a value, it's a string value. Now, username can be a variable name and it's a value. So all these things are expression, because we are going to be when we are going to be writing more code now, especially when we start talking about variables. Okay, so anything that can be evaluated or calculated as a value is an expression. Okay, anything that can be calculated as a value is an expression. Sometimes people will say expression is an operand plus an operator. Okay, but expression is anything at all that has a value, that can evaluate to a value. Okay, that can be calculated as a value. That's an expression. Okay, now we will use these variables to wrap this expression. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at variable declarations. So, but before I go on with variable declarations, what are variables exactly? What are variables? You know, in computer programming, the computer itself, it deals with data. The computer deals with data. Okay, the computer deals with data, and this data, okay, the computer deals with data. Okay, and the computer takes in data, processes data, and give you output. That's exactly what the computer does. And somehow we need to work with this data, and that is why your computer has memory, where it stores the data it uses during the process, whenever it's processing. Okay, especially when it's running an application or a program. So sometimes this data, we fetch them from database. Sometimes we get it from a user input. Okay, maybe we ask them for their username, they'll give us their username. We cannot use it we cannot process it. Okay, we cannot use it to do whatever we want to do in our program. Then sometimes you might still need to work with that data in your program. So that is where you use variables. Variables are like temporary storage, temporary storage for your data. Okay, because data that you'll be using in your application, in your program, you would want to store them somewhere, and you would want to use them in your program. Okay, now when you're running your program, this data, they are being stored in the memory. Okay, and now we use variable to give a name to the place where this data has been stored in memory. Our memory is like the post office. When you go to the post office, you see all those things like cabinets. Okay, I don't know how best I can explain this, but your memory in your computer is like every memory space has an address. Okay, now if I want to save data in a particular memory, and I want to use that data somehow in my program, I would need to save the memory address as a name, and whenever I want to make use of that data, I will refer to that name. Okay, that is how best I can explain it, but as we go on, you're going to understand variables better. Okay, now take a look at this. Okay, take a look at this. We have let's talk about variable declaration. Okay, now you will have to declare your variable, and this is how you declare your variable. Let me show you how you declare your variable. Okay, let me show you how you declare your variable. This is how you declare your variable. Let me go back to my... Okay, so this is how you declare your variable. I think I have already done variable declaration right here already. Okay, now I would need to run these things inside here. Now this is a variable declaration. Okay, all right, I will need to delete all this. I need to delete everything so that I will have a clean slate. Now, variable declaration. This is how you do variable declaration. Your data, the data that you want to store in memory and that you want to use in your program, it must have a type. It can be integers, it can be strings or text. Okay, it can be any data type at all. All right, it can be decimal numbers, it can be integers, decimal numbers, it can be strings like text. Okay, and you want to store that data, so you will have to give it the type, and we are going to talk about different data types in that programming language, but I want you to see how you declare a variable. You give it a type. Let's say I want to declare a variable that will hold somebody's age. I will give it a type integer. Okay, int. Okay, I will now say age. Now this is variable declaration. I have right now, this is a single statement, a simple statement. I have told the computer in this my program, I want you to reserve a space for me in memory, and I would want you to later on in this program, I'll be storing integers. All right, I'll be storing whole numbers in this memory space. Just reserve a space for me, give it a name as age, and later on I am going to store some data in that space. Just reserve it for me. So basically what we have done here is variable declaration. Okay, we have declared a variable called age, and we are telling the computer, please reserve a space for us in the memory. We are going to be storing some whole numbers in this memory space, and whenever we want to access the data, we are going to use the name age to access it. So this is called variable declaration. You have just declared it. Okay, now the next thing we would also want to take a look at is variable. Let's talk about type annotation. Okay, let's talk about type annotation. Let's talk about type annotation. Okay, now simply type annotation means you decorating your variable. Now this age is our variable. The age here is what is our variable. The variable name is age, and that is what the variable is. And basically a variable is something that can, you know, once you say something varies, that means that thing can change. Okay, so when you declare a, we have two types. We have variables and we have constants. So we'll talk about constants later on. But when you're a variable, when you declare a variable, you means that I can change the value. Okay, I'm going to be storing a certain type of data in this memory space, but I can change them. I can put in 2 now, and later I will put 10, or later I will put 20. Okay, so it varies. It can vary, but the thing is this: it must always be the same data type. You cannot declare a variable or that will hold whole numbers, and later you want to put in text in that memory space. The computer will not allow it. That is what we mean by type annotation. Us declaring this int here is that we are giving a type annotation telling the computer that we are going to be storing whole numbers. Don't worry, we'll talk about data types in more details, but type annotation means that you're decorating your variable with the data, the type of data that you're going to be storing. And right now we are saying that the type of data we are going to store in this our age is going to be what? Whole numbers. Okay, please, if you're following me so far, I want you to type yes in the comment section. If you're following me so far, I want you to type yes in the comment section. If you're following me so far, I want you to type yes in the comment section. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about the second thing we want to talk about here. All right, is variable assignment. Let's talk about variable assignment. Okay, let's talk about variable assignment, and it is as simple as this. Okay. Variable assignment is as simple as this. All right, let me bring back my browser. Now, this is variable assignment. All right. Now we have declared the variable and we have given it type annotation. I think I should just take this guy up here. Okay. Then the thing is that when we talk about variable assignment, what we mean is this. We have told the computer, please create a space for us. We are going to be, you know, it's just like when you go and you pay for a shop. You can now later, you go and you pay for a shop, but you have not put in anything there. Because the first time you go and pay for the shop, you don't put in anything. But whenever you're done with the whole agreement with the landlord, you can now bring in your stuff. Okay? Or even your house. You can now bring in stuff into your house. So the process of bringing your stuff into your house or bringing your stuff into your shop is what we call variable assignment. We have declared a variable age. So for us to assign it, we'll do it this way. We'll say age is equal to 98. And you end with a semicolon. Always remember to end your statements with a semicolon, especially when it is simple statement or single line statement. Okay, so this is variable assignment. So we have assigned a value. To this variable. That means this our variable now is holding a value that is 98. So if I now come here and I say print age, all right, it is going to print 98 for me. I believe you can see it here. It's going to print 98 for me. Okay, so that is it. So we have assigned a value of 98 to this our age variable. Okay, we have declared, we have given it a type annotation, and here we are assigning the variable. Okay, we are assigning the variable. All right, now the next thing we are going to take a look at is variable initialization. Okay, we're going to take a look at variable initialization, and it is as simple as this. Variable initialization is as simple as this. Let me bring back my browser. Okay, it is as simple as, here we were able to declare and assign used in two different lines, but I can also do variable initialization. Let me show you an example of variable initialization. Initialization. Okay, I can just declare another, let me say my name. I can just say name is equal to person, and I'll end with a semicolon. So what I am doing here is that instead of me to declare the variable on a separate line, just like I did here, and assign this variable assignment later on, I am doing the two of them at the same time. I'm declaring and I'm assigning value immediately. So this is called variable initialization. All of them, the three of them is okay, anyhow you choose to, and moreover sometimes it will be based on how your application works. So I am doing variable initialization here. In variable initialization, you combine both declaration and assignment. So that is what we mean by variable initialization. Okay, now the next thing we're also going to talk about is type inference. Okay, let me cross check before I do that. Okay, type inference. Okay, sorry, type safety. We'll talk of type safety and we'll talk of type inference. Okay, we'll talk of type safety and we'll talk of type inference. So let me bring back my browser. We'll talk of type safety and we'll talk of type inference. All right, so I believe we are here. Okay, so what does type safety mean? Now the thing is that if you're coming from JavaScript background, there is nothing like type safety in JavaScript. Type safety simply means this. Okay, in this age variable, I told the computer that I'll be storing whole numbers. So if you now come and want to put text or string, okay, you can see we have int here, we have string, we also have double. Okay, and we also have other data types that we're going to take a look at later on. We have Boolean as a data type. Okay, so when you declare a variable as a particular data type, you cannot assign a value that is not of that type. Imagine that I told the computer, reserve a memory space for me, and that memory space, I'm going to store whole numbers, and later on I am now adding text in that place. It will not work. So this is what we mean by type safety. It will protect the data type, the type of data I can store in a particular variable. Imagine I now say, I come here and I say age is equal to text. It would give me an error. Okay, if it will give me an error, if I try to run, it's going to give me an error. Look at it, says cannot run while state is not idle. So although this is not hello, I hope you're still with me. Okay, so this, you can see it is flagging an error here. It's telling me that a value of type string can be assigned to a variable of type int. So it is called type safety. The data type that this variable is holding is different from the kind of data type I am giving it as a value, so you cannot take it. And I cannot do the same thing and I will not say name is equal to 98. It will not work. You see, it's giving me this red line here telling me that there is an error, and it said a value of type int can't be assigned to a variable of type string. So it is an error. There is an error, so you cannot do it. So this is called type safety. Okay, now the next thing we have is something we call so the next thing we have is something we call called type inference. Okay, now if you look at the variables I have declared here, I indicated their data type. I use type annotation. When I was declaring the variable, I gave it a particular data type. But what if I don't really know the data type of this variable? What if I don't know it up front? What I will do is I will use the var keyword. Okay, if you're coming from JavaScript, you will know this var. Okay, I'll use the var keyword and I will say something like salary, and I'll give it something like 99,900 and okay. So now that compiler is going to infer for me. That is what we call type inference. Right here, I didn't give it any type. There is no type annotation. I'm just using the var keyword, but I am assigning a value to it. So that compiler is now going to use the value that I assigned it to now infer for me. It will assume for me, okay, you gave it 99.9999 whatever. That means it is a double because it has a decimal point. So the data type is going to be double. So if I now come and now say I want to change this salary and I want to now store whole number, it will flag an error because whole number, and although 78 is still like, okay, no, this will not be the best. Okay, this will not be the best example. Let me say 99 here, and here I am now saying is going to be 78.99. Now here I am saying var salary is equal to 99, so it is going to infer it as an integer, as a whole number. And later on in line 14, I am now saying I want you to now store 78.99, which is a decimal number, okay, a double. So it will not work. Int and double are two different data types, so it will not work. So here, that compiler is inferring for me. That compiler is inferring that this salary, the data type of this salary is integer, and I cannot, because of type safety, I cannot assign another value that is not of the same type. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any question, I would want to take your question. If you have any questions so far, I will have to take your question, and we would have to end this class here, and the next class will continue with constants. Okay, so if you have any questions, I would want to take your questions. Okay, if you have any questions, I would want to take your questions. If you have any questions, I would want to take your questions. If you have any question, I want to take your question. If not, we'll call it a night. Okay, we'll wrap it up here. Okay, Ahmed says, can we change a data type from one to another? Now, once you have declared it and given it a type annotation, you cannot change it. All right, you cannot change it unless you go back to do the changing in the type annotation where you declare the variable. But there is something they call typecasting. Okay, there's something they call typecasting that we are going to see later on. You can typecast, but from what we have done so far, once you declare a variable and giving it a type annotation, you cannot change it. Okay, you cannot change it. Okay, so like if we declare it as int before, can we make it a string? No, no, you cannot make it a string unless you change it in your declaration. Okay, I can say int age is equal to 98. Then if I still want to use age to be a string, I will go back and remove the int and make it string. Okay, but don't worry, as we go on, we are going to talk about typecasting, where you can cast, where you can conversion, where you can convert from one type to another type. But for now, that will be in the previous in the subsequent classes. That's where we'll see something like that. Okay, any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so in the absence of another question, I will call it a night here and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you very much for showing up, and have a wonderful night rest.